What's going on, workforce? Brian here for Work to Game, and today I want to talk to you guys about the UI, the HUD layout, positioning, hotbars, all that. Now this is more a general one-on-one guide, just kind of introducing you to these features. And this request comes from a community member, Robert, who asked for something, looking at the various UI and how I have it laid out. So thank you so much for that request. Hopefully this video helps introduce you guys to the full power of the UI and the HUD layout tool. Now that all being said, Chris is working on a specific, really in-depth guide to how you build out interesting UIs, at least from his perspective. So keep an eye out for that video here in the future as well. But without further ado, let's just do this thing. The UI in Final Fantasy XIV is extremely important, but it's obviously not the most exciting thing to talk about. So take the time to set up your UI, spend some time with these tools to really try to get a look and feel. Now my main goal for this video is to teach you everything you need to know about how to manage and set up your UI. This is done through three ways. A, just the general game that you see right here as a whole. B, via the UI HUD layout tool. And then C, via the character configuration and hotbar settings. These three tools offer you so much flexibility and power, it's a shame not to talk about. Let's first talk about your chat box and how you can lay that out. You can click and drag and place it anywhere on your screen. This is really the main control that is not controlled within the HUD layout tool, and it's important to note. Now obviously I'm using a keyboard and mouse to move this around, but you can also do the same thing with using the virtual mouse on the controller. By pressing the left bumper and down on the right stick, you can see that I'm moving the mouse with my right stick, and I can go and click. It's a little bit more cumbersome than you'd always like to do, but this way it gives you the ability to kind of place that and also resize it using those controls. Next, from the system menu, HUD layout, you're going to see this tool. Now you've got three filters: all, system, and hotbars. This will hopefully help you limit the tools that you want to see, but under all, you can see this drop down list will have each item accessible. This will allow you to focus in on any particular item, and it's very handy if you have that item behind another item. Otherwise, you can easily just click and drag and drop and move those items anywhere you want. There is a grid that is visible behind you. It's kind of opaque, but it's still there nonetheless. And even if you don't have the tool on, you can still see the placement here. So you can see Alliance List 1 and 2, Hotbar 6, Hotbar 7 right here. Those are all visible, even though they're not visible whenever you return to the view itself. Next, you also have these four options. You can actually have 4 separate HUD layouts. This could be really easy if you think of like a tanking HUD, a healing HUD, a DPS HUD, a ranged DPS HUD. Whatever your heart can desire, you can really set that up, and then that way when you're switching jobs, you can end up switching your UI. This can also be controlled via macros, but we're not going to jump into that today. Via the gear tool that you see right here, you can actually copy any HUD to any new slot. So if you have a particular HUD style that you like and you want to copy it and make some subtle changes, you can do so without having to try to flip between the two and memorize what all is there. Okay, so let's jump into character configuration real quick and go to hotbar settings. This is where it all comes together. So you could see that in the HUD layout I have hotbars that are not being displayed. Under the display tab, you can easily turn on and off various hotbars, and you can say where they should be visible. Hotbar 1, 2, 3, etc. and then what type of hotbar it is. So at 6x2, we turn that on. I'll move this out of the way, and you can see that now I have a 6x2 hotbar right there. If I want that to be a 1x12, there you go. If I want it to be vertical, horizontal, you have a lot of control and power with this tool in and of itself, just on the placement and the visibility of those hotbars. I'm going to say yes. And you can see that I'm on 4. Let me switch back to 1, because this is my main. So here you can see I've got several hotbars turned on, and some that are vertical and horizontal, depending on really what I'm looking for. You can turn on and off recast timers. You can hide unassigned slots. And if you don't know what that is, if I just uncheck it, you can see these little gray boxes. But because I kind of like that see-through ability, I do want to keep that turned on. You can say display hotbar number, and so that will help show what hotbar it actually is, but I don't like that personally. You can enable hotbar cycling. This is on hotbar 1. You can easily switch between the two. Pet cycling, and enable drag and drop repositioning. You've got some pet hotbar settings, but we don't need to really get into that right now. Under your sharing tab, and the only reason I bring this up is this is a really important whenever you're playing multiple jobs. You can set hotbars to be shared, meaning no matter what job you play, those hotbars always are going to have the same tools on them, as opposed to when it's not checked, that means it's job specific. So if you play a Dragoon and a White Mage, obviously anything you put on hotbar 1 and 2 are going to be specific for them. But your mounts, minions, just repair commands, whatever you need, you'd want to include that on your all. That way every job is going to have that base set of tools. So you can see that hotbar 9 and 10, which are these guys, are shared. So even if I change my job, those stay the same, but my hotbars, in this case my cross hotbar, changes. So now I want to focus in on why I have my hotbar laid out the way I do. And you can see here within kind of this box is kind of what I call the kill box. Most of my time and attention, especially when doing combat and content, is focused in on kind of this square area. You can see I've got my target bar, you can see I've got this hotbar across the top, which is inaccessible as a controller player. You can also see it doesn't have any numbers on it. That's because it's hotbar 3 and it's not needed. This helps to keep my UI less cluttered and less distracting, but at the same time, this hotbar is meant to focus me on various cooldowns, make sure that those items are included and communicated to me. So under HUD Layout, if I pick on hotbar 3, I'm going to have to select this one. I make sure that it's the largest that I can have it at, which is 140%. So clicking down on the right stick allows me to resize that, and I can reposition it as well. The reason this is so large, again, is just to communicate to me when things are off cooldown so that I'm aware of them. I've got my cross hotbar, I have my W cross hotbar off position from that, but still status effects, enemy list, target bar, my UI, my job specific UI elements, progress bar, duty gauge, all of that exists within here because the majority of my time I'm going to be focusing on this and what is going on in the battlefield. So visually, it doesn't take me long to look over here or over there if needed, but again, most of this is communicating to me various things. You can see down here below I do have various emotes that I like to use, and then I also make sure that I have sprint now added to my global cooldowns because all jobs can take advantage of it because it no longer uses any TP. That's why I actually have it laid out here on my shared hotbar, so that way all jobs will always have access to sprint no matter where I am. Well, I hope this has been a help. I hope you've gotten something out of this video, and I hope you go and play around with your UI. This is just a simple introduction to learning how to use and manipulate these objects. I hope you're able to use this and really make something of it. And if you are, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, as well as any suggestions about what you'd like to see coming. We've got a lot of guides that we're working on and that we already have out on the channel, so be sure to keep it locked here on Work to Game. We're really glad you're here, and thanks so much for watching this video. We hope to see you on our next, but until then, we hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.
Thanks for watching. YouTube has a pretty cool video waiting for you over here. Our latest vlog is down below. For those of you new, subscribe is over here, and all of our other contact info is just right below me here. Thanks for watching.